Hello and welcome to the AL Central live stream for the trade deadline. We just decided to do this randomly, so we have no idea how it's going to go. I'm Eric, and with me today is...
I'm Lee.
And I'm Dan.
And it's... What sparked this is there was a small rumor that Carlos Correa was going to be traded, and it was like, yeah, okay, he is owed $100 million over the next 3 years. Astros aren't going to want that, and the Twins aren't going to, are going to want something else. Well, that just happened, and then it sparked a, hey, let's just get on here and just kind of talk about stuff. But this has been a busy deadline, Twins or otherwise, unless you're the Detroit Tigers.
Apparently, yeah.
What avenue do we want to go down? Stephen Kwan might be traded in the next hour. Not Justin. I'm sure that joke's been said 1,000 times. Shane Bieber's been traded to the Blue Jays. Joan Duran was traded last night to the Phillies. The Twins have traded 3 other guys. Where do we want to go? Anyone?
I think the Twins are the most interesting one right now.
All right, let's just go to MLB trade rumors because I think this is probably the best way to show this. I do not have the ads, or I'm not ad free, so everyone deal with it. All right, one sec. Share screen. Well, I'm pulling this up quickly. Dan, how are you thinking about the Guardians?
Well, first, hello, everybody. I appreciate you guys getting on because I just got done with work, and this beats sitting refreshing MLB trade rumors for the next hour, making sure Stephen Kwan does or doesn't get traded.
So you just expect me to hit refresh for you while the 3 of us talk about it?
I guess so.
This is better than me lying in bed refreshing Twitter for the next hour and a half before I leave for work. So,
it's to answer your initial question. It feels unresolved with the Guardians, and I think a lot of this ultimately, what it comes down to, is actually not about the trade deadline, but the item that happened around it with Emmanuel Clase, and how you feel about the very real prospect that Emmanuel Clase is just going to disintegrate into thin air in terms of not being on the Guardians roster moving forward. If you are a person that feels like Clase's potential departure means this team has been massively set back, then I think you would anticipate to see Stephen Kwan be traded in the next hour, and you go from there. But if you think, he's awesome, he's been great for the Guardians over time, but he's a closer, and of the things you need on a playoff team, you can find closers, you can find relief pitching.
How much are you going to get for a closer?
Right.
Well, apparently a lot if it's Mason Miller. But,
yeah.
And JP Sears. How dare you?
And JP Sears. But the point being, it just comes down to how much you value a closer in the first place. And I guess that to accentuate off that, though, that was the Guardians' strength, was their bullpen.
Yep.
And I was talking to a friend about it last night. And it's like, again, in the event that Clase is gone, you go from the Guardians' strength being to the bullpen to it being it's normal. I don't know the word, like, it's not a strength anymore. It's just average. It's good. It's no longer this thing you could kind of pull surplus from. So anyway, that's a long rambling way to say that ultimately I think that was kind of the biggest thing that happened at the deadline for the Guards, at least to this point. And ultimately there's only one person's opinion that really matters in this, and that's Chris Antonetti, the team president, and how he views what has transpired. So we are still on the clock. I did not know that Stephen Kwan it was talked to about by the Padres were in discussions for Stephen Kwan, and part of that asking price was the number 3 prospect in the country, DeVries. And Chris Antonetti's answer to that offer was, it starts with DeVries. It isn't just DeVries. And so San Diego moved on to trying to get Mason Miller instead. So they still apparently are holding out for a huge haul. This isn't just a sell it all off. We're going to get what we can while we can situation, which I'm supportive of, but I could kind of see it both ways.
Yep. Lee, quickly, before we talk about the Twins. We're still waiting. They're going to do something. I'm confident.
Yeah, the Tigers so far have traded for a bunch of relievers plus Chris Paddock. The headliner of that is the biggest name. I say biggest is Kyle Finnegan, who's a reliever from the Nationals, who has he's an ERA of like 4.5, but it's blown up by a couple .1 inning appearances in the past month, and his FIP is like 3. Let me look at this. I'm pulling up this page right now.
Sure.
Let's see. That's the wrong Kyle. Okay, that's Kyle Finnegan. That's the one I want. I typed in Kyle F, and I took the first one I found, and it was Kyle Freeland, apparently. All right. Yeah, he is from Detroit, which is kind of fun. Okay, so Kyle Finnegan, he has an ERA of 4.38, but his FIP is 3.6, and he had a couple really bad blow-ups. And outside of that, he's pretty clear. I saw him described by a Nats fan as he'll get a bunch of traffic, but he'll somehow get out of it, but he'll give you a heart attack in the process. And I'm like, he'll fit right in for the past 30 years of Tigers bullpen. So I mean, that's a fine trade on its own. And then there's a couple other guys that we got who have ERAs of like 4 or 5. And a lot of it's like, okay, worst case scenario, we gave up nothing. We got bullpen depth for either in Toledo or just a warm body because our bullpen is kind of injured or underperforming. But my issue right now is they aren't doing enough. Like, these are fine trades on their own, but you look at the Yankees are kind of doing stuff. The Astros are getting Correa again. The Mariners went and got Naylor and Suarez. The Tigers aren't doing enough to really say, I need something that shows that they are willing to compete and they want to compete. The Tigers haven't really done any of that. Mariners are doing that. Astros are doing that. I'm not seeing that from the Tigers right now. That's my thing.
Sure. Well, this is now the active hour. So
Yeah.
I'm still convinced they're going to do something, whether you want. I mean, it's debatable if it's going to be good or not. But all right, let's go on our Twins journey, shall we? In the last, we'll pick up after the Pat. We'll just start with the Chris Paddock trade. Saw it coming. I'm actually I patted myself on the back because I don't know if I said it on camera or not, but I said a couple of times in our Discord that I think the Tigers should target Chris Paddock as a back of rotation guy and maybe switch him to the bullpen during a playoff run. I didn't think it would actually happen, and they did. They traded for a 19-year-old catcher who's kind of a coin flip. If the Twins like him, but of course they're going to say that they traded for him. I don't know if he's going to play first. I don't know if he's already listed as catcher / first baseman, which probably means going to be.
I mean, all the catchers in the Tigers organization is listed as that. I think a lot of it is just getting reps in without over stressing them at catcher.
Right. It could just be flipping them to relieve stress, but also I don't know. I think you have a hierarchy. I know the Tigers have a couple catchers in their system, but there's a clear number one catcher on each roster. And if you're not playing there a majority of the time, and I think he is, but either way, decent prospect for Chris Paddock, who I honestly is probably on the high end of what people were expecting to get him. Perfectly fine. Also, the likelihood of it coming back to burn the Tigers, pretty small.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about losing him because we've got 2 high-level catcher prospects in Briseño and Lorenzo. So I'm not really worried about losing Jimenez because either way he's going to be blocked by Torque and Dingler at the top or Lorenzo and Briseño at AA. So
nope, it's fine. I mean, it's a coin flip if he makes it to the majors at best anyway. So I'm going back to yesterday afternoon about 3:30. You heard some sparks that it looks like Joan Duran is going to be traded. The Phillies were mentioned, but the stick in the mud was the Twins were saying, hey, we'll give you Andrew Painter, who is the 8th best prospect globally on MLB.com, basically a major league ready pitcher. The Phillies balked at that. A couple hours later, they came back and acquired him 4 hours later for 2 top 100 prospects. Well, Tate is a top 50 global prospect. These are all MLB.com. Search on Baseball America. I think he's dropped off of there. And some of the other lists, I think, have him a little bit lower. But he is Tate is why I don't know. I have the Orioles up. Tate is now the fourth prospect in the Twins organization. What makes it interesting? Good hit, a lot of power. Not much run. Obviously, he's a catcher, and then good arm. Don't know if he's going to be a fielding. The Twins. If anybody remembers a couple years ago when they had Mitch Garver and Ryan Jeffers, both of them coming up in the minors rated pretty poorly defensively, and the Twins were able to bring them. They were kind of like one of the first teams to do that one knee on the ground squat to help their framing numbers, and they really helped their metrics at least. So I mean, maybe they think they can quote smooth him out. That's their words. I certainly don't know what the hell that means, but they're certainly going to smooth him out. What makes him interesting? He's 18 in high A. The average age for high A is 22 and a half. He's 4 years younger than his average competition, which is really, he could be in rookie ball. It's very aggressive how they're playing him, and the Twins are going to put him in high A as well because I think short season just ended. He's held his own, which is, I guess, is what you want to see. Seems decent, but it's an 18-year-old catching prospect. Them are risky. The other one, Mick Abel, who I'm going to call Mike because I've been calling him Mike the entire time. He kind of reminds me of Zebby Matthews. High velocity, good stuff, except for unlike Zebby, he doesn't know where the ball is going. So it just kind of depends on where you think, wherever you think, if you can smooth that out, that could be actually a really nice find. He's actually pitched for the Phillies this year. So we're going to talk about how the Twins are basically in a fire sale now because of Correa. I don't think it's surprising if a Joe Ryan shaped hole shows up in this rotation in the next hour. I think you're going to see him at minimum in the next month, but you could probably see him next week depending on how the rest of this hour goes. Okay, that was last night, and like the reaction to that. First off, what do you guys think of the? I have opinions, but what are we thinking here?
I think it's not bad. I think you kind of gotten more, but I think Tate is like the real prize in that trade from what I've read up on him. Kind of. But I think it could have gotten more, especially when you see what other relievers are going for.
I think that's been the reaction too. Dad, do you have the same thoughts or?
I don't think it's far off, but I think I mentioned it last night when we were talking. I would have, I don't know how strongly you guys need Tate as opposed to maybe somebody that was slightly higher up on the prospect rankings. That's where I kind of come in. I would have tried to get one higher quality prospect, quality over quantity in that case.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much been the reaction everywhere. Was like, yeah, it's good, but like, we kind of expected more. Because as of yesterday, little did we know 24 hours later, there was no urgency to trade Duran. He has 2 more years of team control after this year. King's Ransom is what should have come up. And like,
I think that's really important. And I think that's a great point is that if you don't find what you want, you go, okay, well, we'll just hold on to him and try this again in 12 months or 6 months in the off season,
But I guess there is urgency to trade him because, they're giving away Correa and they're holding on to a lot of his contract, apparently.
Yeah, but that was always going to happen. There's no way they were going to do the Twins would have just given him Correa for literally a bucket of balls if they took on the rest of the contract. Like, his negative value was the contract, but we'll talk about Correa in a bit because I still don't think they've told us what the return is yet.
No, so far all we've gotten from Nightingale is there's only one prospect going to the Twins, with the Twins paying a significant portion of the remaining $102 million.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a
That's
second.
all we got.
Wow.
But anyway, back to the if they hit on these players, it doesn't matter. Because, it is a reliever. It's the same thing Dan said about Class A. You can find good relievers, but, you didn't have to trade him. And the overall is, you did pretty good here, but, we kind of expected more. Which means 5 years from now, you're not even going to have the, but it looked good in the moment if these players don't hit type things. Where like you can kind of give a not even like a pass or something, but there's questions in the moment. So these
Right.
one of these two have to hit.
You won't be able to say, well, at the time we thought it was really good.
Yes. And look,
Like-
at
like
everyone
the-
at the time said this was a no doubter, no brainer. It just didn't work. These
Like,
two have to hit. One of these two.
Weird comparison, but at the time for the Miggy trade with the Marlins, at the time a lot of Tigers fans thought we overpaid, and now when Miggy's career outlasted all of those guys.
Yep.
So like that's an example of a trade that looking back is like at the time we thought it was an overpay, but
Yep.
that's like the only one I can think of off the top of
Alternatively,
my head.
I will say that, and I said this a couple weeks ago on the show, the Twins were at a crossroads. I think that was very clear. And Eric, I know you talked about just pick a lane,
Yes.
do a thing. Like
You
if
did
you're
it.
gonna sell. Don't just be in this weird limbo of not do. They, you know what? They've picked a lane.
Yeah,
They're-
gotta give them
they're
credit for that.
Trading off pieces. You know, they've committed, and so I think you can make the argument. Yeah, they could have held on to Duran, but no, that would have fallen in the face of like, no, we are
Yep.
making a decision. We are going to sell off. You know what, Eric? 2026 might not be very pretty. I'm
Yep.
sorry, but the goal is hopefully 27, 28, whatever. We're on a pathway now where at least there's a vision. At least we're not going to be a 75 win team because we don't do anything for the next 5 years.
Right.
So
I wonder
Because-
how. I
could
wonder
you
how
have
much.
gotten more? Yes, but maybe there's some value in just being decisive.
But I kind of wonder too, like the Phillies, I think were locked onto Duran. But if you would have told me, if you'd have swapped Duran for Jax, I'd have been, okay, this is good. Like that's the pack. Because like Jax is like a quarter step back to me than Duran. And like, I don't know. I don't hate the train. I'm just kind of like, yeah, they did all right. But like I don't know what, I feel like they could have gotten the same trade next year if he doesn't blow out his arm. It's probably like the taste that's going to be in my mouth. But if they get if Appel or not, oh my God, that's going to be brutal. If Mick ends up being a good pitcher, which by the way, he throws 98 and he's replacing a reliever who threw 102. If he doesn't know where the ball's going as a starter and just ends up being a closer like Duran, I guess that's fine too. You know, that's what's the beauty of trading a reliever is you can find new ones. All right.
I'll add to my point. You know, there may be benefit. You could trade him 6 months from now, 12 months from now.
Yeah.
But that's just time lost. That's where you don't know which direction you're going, and so there's value in like you're not, if you do it a year from now you're worried about 28 and 29.
Right.
You did it today. Now you're worried about 27
Right.
and 28.
And
That
like,
makes sense.
I wonder how much of it is like if the Bullheads are in talks with a buyer, how much of it is the buyer being like, okay, sell, you know, and then we'll.
Maybe.
I don't know.
To me, if I'm the owner, I'm saying don't do anything because I want to bring in my own front office.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's like
I
the
don't-
more logical. But
But I think I just said this on the last show. Until this buyer says, unless there's like a Justin Ishbia, this is the dude report, I don't care. Because like until they either have a firm and final offer in hand and they're going to sell it, or they have a pretty good idea who's going to do it, the dude that they're talking to has as much affiliation with the Twins as I do. So I don't care about their opinion. So but that's, I get it. But there has been that speculation around at least Twins Reddit.
all right, some update from Rosenthal. So the Blue Jays continue to talk with the Twins about Griffin Jax and the Guardians about Stephen Kwan, but neither player is particularly likely to be traded. Neither player is seen as particularly likely to be traded. That's what it said.
All right.
Yeah,
see.
and the
Kwan
Dodgers
is a roller
just-
coaster, man.
Dodgers just traded for another outfielder too, so it sounds like they're out on Kwan.
Kwan's a roller coaster. Earlier today, it's getting closer to the potential that he's going to be traded. Like now, he's probably not going to be traded, which is fine. I'm of both minds again on trading Kwan.
Yeah.
I do. Since you mentioned Toronto, can I talk about Shane Bieber real quick?
Yes, let me pull them up.
So, in that instance, that's a little bit different than a Clase or Kwan. We never saw him this year. So it's almost like you didn't know what you lost in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, and he hasn't thrown in a major league game in 15 months. Uh, I did think it was an interesting move earlier today. I'm like, okay, does this mean that we really are kind of giving up on this year and maybe 26? But no, I think it's just a matter of this is parts that we never got to use this year. We're going to trade them off. Appreciate your time here, Shane. I think it's a good look for the organization that we were willing to rehab a guy and then send him to a place to succeed somewhere else.
Sure.
By the way, we rehabbed Matthew Boyd last year. His numbers are fantastic in Chicago this year. So I do think the Guardians have a little bit of a niche there where they're like, hey, come to town. We'll help you get your career back on track. And by the way, I think in most cases, ultimately, you'd like that guy to pitch for you at some point. But I think that, there's an opportunity there to be for value. Anyway,
Yeah, I was gonna
in
say you
trading
don't
him,
want your team to just be a rehab center at a certain point. It's
no,
like, yeah,
no, there's a balance that needs to be struck there. But they're trading him off, and the prospect they got for him, in my opinion, is very interesting. Cal Steven.
One sec.
Uh,
But
I
before,
don't know
can I
that he'll
just
be an
bring up?
ace someday.
Can I just
Go
bring
ahead.
up one point about this is going to be kind of a downer, but like, how much
It's
does
okay.
it kind of suck? The last pitch for Shane Bieber was a Tommy John, like, and then like he teared up, and he was like, "I knew this season is over," and then that just ended up being the last pitch for him.
It's very interesting that the story of that's interesting because he knew in like the second inning of that game that he needed surgery.
Yeah,
And so he went out there and competed and did his thing for 6 innings. By the way, Shane Bieber in 2024, 12 scoreless innings. That was his stat line for last year.
it's a good start.
ERA 0.00 through 2 games, 12 innings. And so, I think there was an opportunity there for him at the time to just kind of leave it out there and knowing what was coming. And anyway,
Yep.
it is sad.
Anyway,
It is a downer, but
Cal Steven.
Cal Steven, I think is an interesting, I saw him listed as a potential 4 or 5 starter. I think you got to put, a little Guardians modifier on there and say he could potentially be a 3 at this point, just based on the track record the team has. But he seems like he's going to take a year to get to the majors, but the tools are there. Everything I read about him was, he pitched a pretty big workload in college. His stuff is fairly refined. It's not going to be a hard development for him. And so I think, he'll come into the organization, get with the program, and has the potential to really, by next year be helping in the rotation.
Yep.
So, you're delaying the addition of a starting pitcher for about a year in trading off Bieber and adding in Cal Steven. And you didn't know what you were going to get out of Bieber at this point moving forward.
Right.
So I
yeah.
don't think it's
Coming back from Tommy
ideal
John,
for,
it's
yeah.
take a while.
So we'll see, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I didn't feel like we really lost out on that. The one additional thing I want to add is as an aside. A couple weeks ago, one of you guys asked me about like, well, if Detroit makes the playoffs and is doing really well, will you support the Tigers? And my answer was a little bit yes and a little bit no. But I think ultimately what I'm going to have to do is support Toronto.
Yeah,
Toronto is
yeah.
becoming like mini Cleveland or big Cleveland or whatever. Like to the point Mark Shapiro's their team president. He was from Cleveland originally. Straw, Jimenez, Ernie Clement, and now Shane Bieber. That's what 20% of their team is former Guardians. I think that's my answer for moving forward. There's obviously a relationship there between the two teams. Apparently, Quan is being
Right.
named as somebody who could go to the Blue Jays too. So
Yeah, it's
It's almost
all
like-
Cleveland.
it's almost like the Blue Jays are like big market Guardians at this point.
Yeah. All right. One sec. I just want to pull up. All right. Actually, I want this. Okay. So I'm on Cleveland. Well, let's go. Any update on the Correa stuff? Because I talked about it earlier. I already know the way I'm leaning on my feelings on this, but I'm going to reserve my judgment until I receive the return. All right. Yes, and Twins are including money. So let's just read MLB trade rumors together, shall we? So as of now, we only know the Twins are including money in the trade, though the Astros are paying a majority of the contract, which means the Twins are going to get Bunk back. Oh, is that literally the only thing? Boy, this is word vomit MLB trade rumors. Yeah, there's nothing here. Correa's going to play third base, which is interesting. I mean, I guess not really interesting.
I was wondering about that part. Like, I thought that,
Paredes, he's out for the year.
Okay.
Yeah. But they have him for, I think he's still arbitration eligible, and Correa has a 3-year contract. So what are they doing next year? Who the frick knows?
And are they gonna pay Pena or not too? Like, what is?
I mean, Correa only has 3 years left, and like the rest are vesting options. So like, and they're not. I guess they are probably gonna pay. I'm gonna guess. I mean, I don't know. They let Correa walk when he was getting expensive, and then,
And Pena just switched his agent to Boris too.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting what the Astros do, but we'll see. I want to see what the Twins get back, if they get anything valuable. I'm also, whatever money they do save, what are the chances of them reinvesting it into the team this offseason? The now, $15 million they might have back, $20 million they might have back.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical at best.
Right now, the Tigers' Twitter is very not happy with Scott Harris right now. But the silver lining is, well, everyone else in the division is blowing it up, so at least we got that for the next couple of years.
You win by staying put. That's the most AL-centric thing ever.
Right? So, hey, the silver lining is everyone in the division is going to suck for the rest of the year. So.
The rest of the buildings are collapsing around us. Do we even need to keep building up anymore? Like, what is this?
We're the tallest building. Look around us. Yeah, so there's a Detroit sports content creator I follow. 2 hours ago, he said, "I started walking when we traded for Finnegan. I'm 9 miles in, and I'm not stopping until we make another move." He just posted, 19 miles. This is starting to be not fun. I've watched the life slowly drain from this man's eyes over the past 2 hours. Yeah, Tigers, can you please do something? Look, I like the trades that they have done. They're not bad trades. They're fine trades. I just need something a little more to prove to me that they're trying to win, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I want to support you, Lee. I think there's a little bit of, don't feel bad for feeling that way.
Yeah.
You've been the best team in the league the entire year. This is the opportunity where the Tigers should be reloading. They quite frankly, they should be doing more than they've done to this point. I'll say it. And the one, I think Finnegan's probably the biggest of the relief pitchers that you guys added. He doesn't even fit the mold that you guys are looking for. He's not any much more of a strikeout pitcher than the guys you currently have. Right, I actually, not to be negative towards you, but I don't like that deal. I just don't think he fills the hole that you guys were looking to fill.
It just
feels like the Tigers have decided to go for quantity instead of quality.
It's bargain bin hunting.
They're just collecting arms to see who can get a good 20 innings down the stretch.
And you know what? Maybe that strategy, because again, we've talked about this. Just getting the best guy isn't always the right answer. Like, you get the guy that is going to randomly be good for the next 3 months. Like you were just saying, Eric, like that could be any of those, but man, it increases your probability of finding that guy when you get somebody that's a little bit more higher reputation.
Yeah, and like some of these guys are like Montero we traded for last night. He's a guy who was really good, but the past few years has fallen off, and he has playoff experience, and he has a high swing and miss rate. Like, okay, worst case scenario, we gave up literally nothing for a guy who's a warm arm and has playoff experience. Best case scenario, they saw something that Chris Fetter can fix in him, and he's a good swing and miss guy, right? Like, but again, it's the problem that we've had with Scott Harris the past couple of years. And like, he's been in here for 3 years, so it's not that much of a track record, but bargain bin hunting. He keeps getting all these reclamation projects or 35-year-olds or
Yep.
Like, give me a
I
little
don't
more.
mean to belabor. I don't mean to belabor the point, but you guys aren't in a position where you should be. Well, if this guy does this thing, if we
Yep.
fix, no, you guys have been the best team in the league all year. This isn't. We should be if he does this. No, you guys should have gone out and gotten Bednar or
Yeah,
any of
that's
these
I
guys.
agree with you on that
You're
point.
big game hunting at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
this
I
isn't.
agree.
Oh, I hope we make the playoffs. We need to make a move for this. No, this. I'm angry for you apparently more than I thought I was. I'm apparently invested, but
So,
I I I'll be frank. We're 35 minutes to the deadline. I feel like Detroit has mismanaged this to this point.
right. So
Yeah,
far.
I'm starting to feel that way.
I've been on the other side of I've seen the Twins wait out the market and come out as clear winners or as like good like they've done a lot in the last half hour and I've seen the previous two deadlines of being okay if they're going to do it. They're going to do it, right? And then nothing. So
And
I'm going to wait
maybe
until then.
part of me, my reaction is my context too, because I've seen the Guardians do both. I've seen them. Now, it's almost been 10 years now, but I saw them go out and trade for Andrew Miller, and that worked
Yep.
swimmingly. That was phenomenal. But I've also seen them kind of hedge at different times over the course of the last 10 years when they've been a playoff team. And, you know, it can be very frustrating. And it doesn't signal that you think this is the year where you can hold the trophy at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, okay, so what's the deal? Do they think they can win with the guys that they have, or like I
That's what they'll
honestly
say.
don't. Yeah, that's the
I
thing. That's
think
what they'll say. But like, I don't believe that. I mean, I look at what other AL teams have done and added, and I think, okay, what have the Tigers added? A bunch of 4 ERA relievers. Like that doesn't give me a lot of confidence.
it just reeks of me. Well, we're worried about 2026 as well. Like, no, man.
No.
Yeah.
You've got an opportunity here. If you guys were winning the division, but were, the third, the other two division winners right
We're
now in
like
the AL
clearly
were
ahead.
better
Yeah.
records. Like if you were clearly the worst of the three division winners, I wouldn't feel this way. But you guys have been really good all year.
All
Like
year, that's the
that's
thing.
what's driving this for me.
Like it was a bad 2 week stretch, and we're still tied for the best record in the American League. We've been incredibly consistent all year. Like, and now I'm getting more upset now because like, what are they doing? Do they want to do anything? And like, I can kind of understand from the perspective of, oh, we're worried about 2026 because honestly, yeah, I was not expecting to be in this position in 2025. I was expecting to be in this position in 2026. So I kind of get that. But at the same time, you're right. We're winning. We're clearly contenders. Why aren't we adding to that?
And you can make one move, one big move,
Yep.
and not wreck your organization. Like I'm not saying they should make 4 trades and dump the entire farm. Like, no, but you make one move where you trade a couple prospects, which again, prospects don't always work out in the first place. And
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
Like Bednar. That's one of the ones I really wanted. Like they got so he went to the Yankees and Pirates got 2 catching prospects. The Yankees number 8 and number 14 prospect, and then an unranked outfielder in prospect. It's like, okay, so maybe they wanted catchers, right? The only catchers high up in our organization is like Briseño and Lorenzo. Do we give up Lorenzo for a season and a half of David Bednar? I don't
Yes.
know.
Why
I
not?
mean,
I was just so I'm looking. All right, I'm just looking at this. So like I don't know what surprises me is I think we all kind of know the Yankees have not the best farm system. Oh crap! I have the wrong tab being shared. 1 second. Sorry guys. So the Yankees farm system is not good. Like they have 5 50 grade prospects again, MLB.com. But we're on their 8th prospect. They have a 40 overall catcher. Who was the catcher that was who were they, Lee?
let me pull it up
For
again.
Bednar?
It's their number 8 and their number 14. I have to scroll up again. Rafael Flores and Edglin Perez.
So Flores is a 40 overall prospect average tools at best. Who else was it?
Edglin Perez. 14. You have to scroll down a little bit more.
Oh God, this can only. He has a good arm and he fields well for a cat. Okay, fine. And third one.
Not even ranked. Brian Sanchez. You can find anything on
Yeah,
him.
that's a terrible package. Like I don't know. Like, does anyone impress with that?
No, I mean, like, if the Pirates wanted catchers, I guess I kind of get that because we don't have that many catchers that aren't Briseño or Lorenzo. But I mean, I don't know, and yeah,
Let's see. I mean, just by comparison, and this is, I mean, ninth is a 45. That's pretty average. Okay, to me, this would be a good, like, I don't know if you should get attached to Chris Rodriguez. I was looking at this morning. I like if they make a trade that's worth something, this guy is probably who the Tigers want to give up. Part of me also thinks Yahoo Lee might be another one that they call about, but I don't know. I feel like they could have probably beaten the Yankees offer for Bednar.
yeah. But then again, we don't know what the Pirates asked for. We don't. Yeah.
Well, if
But
that's all they got from the Yankees, though, the Tigers
Yeah.
could easily beat that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just getting more and more annoyed, I guess.
Well, it'll happen.
Yeah. Merrill Kelly just went to the Rangers.
Yep, I saw that. The Twins
but-
just got. Speaking of the Rangers, the Twins traded Danny Colome. They got a left-handed pitching prospect. He's not ranked. Has a decent year. Decent year so far. Nothing like spectacular. Decent strikeout rate and a few innings on high A, but he's a couple years away.
Willie Castro's
expected-
going to the Cubs, apparently.
Ooh, that's different. Reload. That's not an MLB trade rumors. Who said that?
That is from Passan. And Nightingale.
Oh, here we go.
And Heyman.
Yeah,
We're sure it's not from Jeff Passon.
pass on Blue Sky. That fooled me too.
I've gotten got before by fake people.
I'm not following John Heyman. That's why I didn't see that yet. But yeah,
I
Passan.
don't think you need to. Do you need to follow John Heyman? Is that a must follow?
No, I think it's funny.
Him and like this is maybe my own. For some reason, when Bob Nightingale is the first one to
You guys all froze for me.
report something, I always wait for the second. What caused that? But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
like this. Oh, this is from a Tigers fan on Twitter. I was making jokes all day about the deadline because I kind of assumed they'd pull one more out at the end. They aren't going to, are they? Yeah, I'm.
well, let's not give mindless people on Twitter. Like let's.
Waited 10
think that's
years
fair.
to be buyers, and all we've done is make our bullpen worse. I think the bullpen's better, but I get the
I wouldn't
sentiment.
go that far. Yeah,
Yeah, the bullpen's better, but by how much?
Right.
At least we've added
I'll
depth.
be curious to see. First of all, with Colome, I'm a little surprised you didn't get more for. He's having a really good year.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying you
36-year-old
should've gotten, like,
rental though, lefty.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should get a top prospect for him, but what did you get for him?
A left-handed pitching 21-year-old pitching prospect. I think he's in his second year.
Yeah, okay, you know that's. I'm not ranked, right?
No, not that I can see. I can click on him here in a bit. I was just looking at his. I was looking at his page here. Oh, we also got. I thought this was. We'll talk about that in a second. The Brock Stewart trade. Oh yeah, and Harrison Bader was traded to the Phillies. Oh God, how far?
How
down
many
do I go?
players have the Twins traded?
Oh, Paddock, Duran, Bader, Colome, Correa,
Castro.
It's
The
now
over.
6.
4.5 was too low.
Yep, I told you
Yeah, I
5.5
guess
was
so.
my line. And they're still not done. I don't think. Well, they might be done. Unless, like, a Christian Vasquez is going to get the Carlos Correa. Yeah, Garrett Horn. Nope, it's not going to pull up because I have that. So.
Oh, Yankees traded Oswald Pereza. I don't know who that is. I'm just
That was a
reading.
big
the-
prospect a couple years ago. All right, so this is who the Twins got. Garrett Horn, starting pitcher, throws left. No idea what he throws. I'm just looking at his
Good numbers.
Yeah, 292. I want to look at a strikeout rate. Decent hits. Strikeout 12 per 9. but like low minors too, and he was a college pitcher, so he's probably pinch of salt, but it's fine. Looks like when was he drafted? Last year, probably 6th round last year. That's fine. This seems like a good, like if the Twins would have drafted him, I would have said, look out for this guy. They're going to add velocity to him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's fine.
I take it back. That's pretty good for Colome, actually.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
He has some steam.
Do we know what the Twins got for Willie Castro?
Not yet. That's still...
No.
First, can I say, I don't know who is doing this, but whoever is reporting the Twins return, or if the Twins are just being like, yeah, we traded him, and then just not answering to reporters, because it took 2 hours to get the Brock Stewart update back. It took like 45 minutes for the Harrison Bader. It took about a half hour for Danny Colome, and now Willie Castro has the same thing too, which I would just appreciate. Just, give us a name, or like got 2 prospects or something like that. So give me something here, but
they're too busy working on the next trade.
Well, that's just it. I wonder too if they're just like, shut up, John Heyman. We're talking to the Dodgers. Click. So I wanted to. This one seemed interesting to me. The Dodgers traded Brock Stewart for James Outman, a major league player for major league player. Outman had a good... So Brock Stewart has had a good couple of years. He has 3 years of team control. He's 33 years old. I think we talked about this on the last show. I don't think the 3rd year is all that valuable of team control for a 33-year-old reliever who's oft injured. But to get a 28-year-old, he also has 3 years of team control. Just looks like he's struggling to get at-bats for the Dodgers. But when he got full-time at-bats, he did all right. Looks like he's just a really good defender. Doesn't hit that much.
Lee, is that Eric or is that
I
me?
think that's Eric. Uh-oh.
Well, I could say about Outman real quick. I was going to agree with Eric in that he seems like a guy that's going to be a high floor guy. Like, at worst, he'll play really good outfield defense, and if he hits with extra at bats, that's fantastic. Will he hit is yet to be seen. Like I think Eric was saying there, I recall he got some at bats. I think it was the start of last year, and he was putting a good season together. But then they got their depth back. He was out of the lineup more. So again, at minimum, he'll catch the ball in the outfield, and from there, you'll have to see if he could put some at bats together day after day and be productive on the offensive side of things. Quick too, runs the base as well. So, yeah, Outman.
Okay, I was about to say I know very little of the Savant Page and all that. So I remember he was not a top prospect, but he was a decent prospect, and he came out of nowhere a couple of years ago. But he's. Did anyone hear me say Harrison Bader clone? Because that's pretty much my opinion of him.
I could see that.
Yeah,
he's left-handed, which is the big difference there.
That's true.
But similar potential player, glove first, but hopefully can put something together offensively.
Right. Red Sox have made a late effort to acquire Joe Ryan, source says.
Why not? Just
yeah.
He's probably like, so there was Lee sent a link in the Discord server, in our Discord server saying like, unknown Twins player. Now says, well, now everybody wants to leave. I would bet a lot of money that player was Joe Ryan.
You think so?
He's an heart on his sleeve type player. So is Royce Lewis. So if I was going to put chips on 2 players, probably one of those 2. But we'll see. I still don't think we have anything on. Don't do anything on Correa yet.
No, not yet. All this is fun. Tigers and Red Sox are the only teams in the current playoff picture to not acquire an offensive player so far. So, yay. I'm just 20 minutes.
Plus, the 15-minute, runoff where everyone has to turn in their homework and the league has to approve it.
Yeah.
I will say this, Lee, you're doing better than the Red Sox. They're
doing nothing.
They offset their offensive player in this
Yeah.
season. So they're negative negative offense for that.
That's
You
true.
guys are at least 0.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Oof. A baseball player as a proceed unfortunate events just tweeted out a screenshot from 2023 of winning the playoff series.
for the Twins.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of that because Duran had the last out in that game, and so it's been fun. But if you would have asked me at the end of that play, they lost in the actual divisional round, so like playoff run in quotes there. That hey, this is the best it's gonna feel for the next probably 5 years.
That's
I
rough.
probably would have said, "Shut the hell up." There's no way. And then here comes Joe Pollad, yeah, we got to take like $30 million off this payroll. Sorry guys.
Yeah, I'm getting for some reason on my feed. I'm getting a lot of Twins content. Yeah,
I'm sure it's real fun.
It's not very happy. It's not a happy space.
I believe it's not. And really, what?
So,
go ahead.
I was going to say something we should probably consider, and this could be very quick. Have the Royals or White Sox done anything?
The Royals traded a couple guys.
The Royals have been surprisingly active.
Fermin, and a couple days ago they did something, but it wasn't big enough for me to remember. Fermin is like the biggest thing they've done. They haven't really done anything. White Sox, I don't think the White Sox have done anything.
I don't. So the White Sox are probably going to hold on to Luis Robert, and that baffles me. I don't understand. This seems like such a. So Luis Robert has team options after this. He has a $20 million team option after this. He has been horrible for 2+ years? And in the last 3 weeks, he's had a couple of good coming, and the White Sox are like, well, we're not getting offers we like, so we're just going to risk that he's going to bounce back next year, pick up a $20 million option, and then hope. I don't understand it. Save this clip.
One of the Tigers beat writers, Evan Petzold, just retweeted his tweet from 4 hours ago. Tigers grade for Rafael Montero trade. One of the worst MLB relievers from 2023 to 25. He just retweeted that. I don't think he's very happy with the Tigers right now.
But he has Montero. He was with the Astros for a couple of years. That was on a World Series run.
Yeah, I mean, he was good, but then
the past
couple of years, he's kind of sucked.
And nothing for 305.
Yeah.
I'm very curious what this. I don't know. I'm trying to take a step back because it's very easy. The Twins are trading XXXXX. Castro's a free agent, Colom's a free agent, Bader's a free agent, Paddock's a free agent. The sell is Duran, and then you could spin it that the Twins can reinvest Correa. So this is a sell-off. I'm not trying to spin it as anything other than that. But I feel like if it wasn't for Correa, if everyone would be kind of down in the dumps. And even though I think it's arguable or debatable if trading Correa is even a good move. Or maybe just an ominous sign to come.
I mean, I guess it'll depend on what the final return is.
Oh, wait a minute. It refreshed.
Oh.
All right, what do we got? I'm just reading this blind, so sorry if this is the waste of time. With $103 million remaining on Correa's contract, reported today through Jeff Passan, blah, 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 blah. The Astros, if this is just more word vomit, I swear to God. Coming home, play third base. Oh, one prospect coming back to the Twins, per Shan Rome. The trade is in medical review, which is probably the worst thing Carlos Correa wants to hear.
God, the Astros medical team has the potential to just do the funniest thing possible. Would that be better or worse than just trading him for a prospect and keeping all of his contact?
I'm picturing Scott Boras this close to the team trainer being like, you fucking bet not.
It's like, all right, we see a ticking time bomb in his ankle.
It's only 3. It's only that fuse but can blow up after the 4th year. The 3rd year we're fine. But what's also interesting too is so the last 2 months Correa's defense is just gone away, and he was really good the last couple of years. they dated it back to the concussion. And yesterday he left with migraines. Or 2 days ago he left with migraines. So, but like what's weird is his offense has actually gone up. He's had like a 790 OPS in those 6 weeks. So I don't know. It's very weird.
I'm still stuck on. Sorry to change the subject, but I'm stuck on this Freddie Bean trade with the Royals, guys.
Speaking of the
do me a
Royals,
favor.
they just did another trade.
Yes. What? All right, we're going to the
Well,
Royals.
before we get there, do me a favor, guys, and look up Ryan Bergert, Bergert. This is one of the 2 pitchers that the Royals got in the trade today. He's got a very good RA in his rookie year so far. With
yeah, he was a relief. He's a reliever, isn't he?
He's made 7 starts this year. My question is,
let me share my screen.
think of all the trades that have been made today by the AL Central and all the players that have been acquired.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ryan Bergert the best get so far?
Coming in?
A rookie starting pitcher with a 2.78 ERA and 1.2 WAR.
What do you think of James Outman, I guess would be the only debate.
Yeah.
Oh, he went to WVU. That's fun.
That's what we're looking at.
His FIP is pretty ugly, but I mean, a lot of the underlying stuff looks pretty good.
His FIP isn't that up. It's 4.24, which I think is, if it's above league average, I don't think it's much higher than league average.
It's noticeably higher than his ERA. I'd say that.
Yes.
That's the
He's
thing,
walked a lot of guys.
Walked a lot of guys, but gets a decent amount of strikeouts.
Yeah.
Whip is pretty. I mean, his whip is pretty low for the amount of walks he gives out.
I don't mean to keep harping on this. I don't mean to make Lee feel bad, but this player is better than anything Detroit has done today.
Yeah.
The Royals are more all in at this point.
The Royals have acquired left-handed Bailey Falter from the Pirates, by the way.
Who? All right, well, let's look him up.
Yeah, put Scott Harris on the side of the milk carton. Someone will find him that way.
Kansas City's just collecting arms.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they have arms.
A lot of them are hurt, though.
That's true. Bailey Alter. Arbitration. First year of arbitration is next year.
3.73 ERA and 22 starts this year. Man, Kansas City's going. I don't want to say they're going for it like they think they're going to win the World Series or anything, but they are making an active choice to try to compete here.
Right. They're going to try to hang on. I won't say they're trying to win a wild card spot, but they're going to they're hoping other teams fail is what I'm piecing together.
Yeah. I mean, they're not that far behind in the wild card. And with the Twins, selling everything and Cleveland doing God knows what with Class A out.
We'll talk about that in a second. There's going to be a lull in the last 10 minutes here, I think.
Apparently Marlins are not trading Sandy Alcantara. So that's something.
Again, another organization. You're like, why? What are you doing?
Alcantara has not been good this year, and that's
probably
why.
I think
talk about trading at the right time. This isn't the right time.
I don't know.
He's got how long? He has team control until 27. So I guess they're hold on to him for another year. Hopefully he'll be better, and then trade him.
Maybe I'm projecting then because maybe I just want teams to perform worse than the Twins right now.
Maybe.
Right. MLB trade rumors. Here we go.
I just want to know what the Cubs gave up for Willie Castro.
Yeah, it's been like this all day. Let me complain about it for you. The Angels acquire Pereza. All right, Twins. Willie Castro. Still nothing. More to come. The tagline for today for Twins fans is more to come. ...
Yeah.
All right, so while we're waiting on those, Class A. What a heartbreaker. There has to be something, right? There has to be.
I mean, I think there has to be. I was, the more I think about it, and I've heard this from the media too, the league doesn't publicize an investigation like this unless they feel that they're not making any mistakes.
Yeah.
They're not going to go public with something like this and they go, actually, our investigation turns out that we were wrong.
Yep.
I mean, that would be a huge black eye for the league. It would really set the Guardians back, having lost 2 pitchers for 2 months.
Yep.
They're not going to do that. So outlook is not good. I will say there is also some speculation, and everything at this point is speculation. Nothing's official, but apparently Ortiz and Clase were pretty close. They're from similar backgrounds, on the same pitching staff, and so there's the potential that Clase did not engage in any illegal gambling activity, but perhaps knew of Ortiz's actions and didn't report it. I mean, I think at this point that's a best case scenario, unfortunately, in that maybe he doesn't get banned for life because he didn't actually participate. But that's the best case scenario, which is not pretty in and of itself. So it's a real huge wind out of the sails moment for the organization. I've heard speculation that perhaps the members of the organization should be fired because of this, which I think is a little extreme. But ultimately, this is a major setback in a year that was really a lost year because the pieces you added last year all got hurt. Lane Thomas, Paul Sewald, to name a couple, and didn't help contribute to try to put you over the hump. He made the ALCS last year. This is just not only is it now a lost season, but one of your 3 best players might just vanish into thin air. Can't trade any, get anything of value back from him, don't get production from him. And so you really have to contend with the fact that that's just lost. It's just gone.
Yep.
It doesn't exist potentially.
Yes.
So that's what kind of culminated in, well, do you trade Quan now? And it looks like maybe the answer is no, which is really interesting. Again, it goes to, well, Clase is only a closer. Can they compete without him? And now I'm just kind of in a cyclical,
Right.
Well,
they suddenly have
saying the
$10
same
million
things over and
to
over.
spend on Quan next year.
That's true. That money gets, doesn't get paid out. So it is money in the bank that could potentially be used somewhere else.
So I don't know the MLB rules on this, but let's say hypothetically, a week ago the Guardians had traded Clase. What would happen with that trade?
I don't think the league will let it go.
Mm.
I don't think the league would let it go through. I think because they would have had to have known. They would have been.
They didn't just find this out and then be like, "Oh, we suspended him." They had to been working on it.
Or if they're, I'd be more interested to see what the Guardians knew and when they knew it. Did they know 24 hours in advance that he was going to be? Did they, or a week before? Did they be like, "Hey,
so
maybe don't move"?
You guys will remember on our last show I mentioned that was really interesting. The Guardians used Clase in both games of the doubleheader.
Funny.
By the way, he was up in the bullpen on Sunday getting warmed up the next day. They knew they weren't going to have him Monday. Speculation. It sure seems like they knew that he was going to get plenty of rest coming in the near future. Now, how much runway did they have on knowing that? Who knows? I don't think it's a mistake that MLB, several days before the trade deadline, made this known.
Right.
But I don't know. I tend to agree with Eric. I don't think the league would have let a trade happen in the first place.
Right.
Even if there was a sniff of a doubt.
But what would be even funnier, I was listening to a podcast earlier, and their thought was, well, what if the Dodgers were actively trying to trade for Clase and Cleveland was going along with it? Be like, yeah, why don't we go ahead? Come on. Yeah, let's do this. That to me would be funny. I'm how would you feel if you're the Dodgers? But that's a joke.
Or the opposite for that matter. If why do they keep hanging up when we call about Clase? What? We gave them our 3 top prospects. Why don't they want to trade?
Why does the phone keep saying this is a recorded line about Clase? What is this?
Oh, by the way, Yankees just traded for Jose Caballero from the Rays, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting more and more depressed looking at every other AL contender do stuff.
Ooh, the Padres acquired Nestor Cortez. That was a good big deal 2 years ago.
All right, Tigers, you
I was
got
gonna
5
mention
minutes.
there are people on the internet too that are like, because the statement the Guardians put out about Class A was, "We've been informed by the league that this is the extent of it. There's no other players involved." There's stupid people on the internet going, "Well, the league wouldn't tell them that if there was other players involved, they'd keep it a secret so they could continue to invest." That's not how this works.
Right.
The league works for the teams. They're going to tell them and give them all the information they need so that they can act accordingly.
I fell for
This
that
isn't a
trap.
big secret.
I fell for that trap in our Discord group. And I would like to think I know better, and I should have waited because it was like a Hector Gonzalez or something like a former minor
And
league
he's
pitcher.
broken stuff before. Like,
Right.
but
It'd be a weird
I think-
source to come from, but also it wouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
I just think he had old information, honestly. I think he had old information
Well, I
that, yet the league probably did their due diligence on the rest of the Guardian staff and didn't come up with anything. So then they felt comfortable going to the Guardians and saying, "Hey, it's these
Right.
two guys. It's nothing else." But I think it's just silly to think that they wouldn't. If anything, if that comes up, the league says they're wishy-washy about it. They say, we're investigating all matters. This could be this, but no, they went out of their way to tell the Guardians this is
Right.
the end. You don't do that if you don't.
Because they didn't make a similar statement after Ortiz, right? Because
No.
I look back and I wanted to look back and see, did they see? No, but they didn't say the same thing. So it makes me
No.
think, okay, it's. By the way, White Sox have sent Adrian Hauser to the Rays.
okay, that wasn't he there before? No. Yep. Okay, one sec. I want to click on this. Adrian Hauser. They don't. Oh my god. All right. This is literally the MLB trade rumors page. The Rays acquire Adrian Hauser, and then the body of the thing. The Rays are acquiring starting pitcher Adrian Hauser from the White Sox, according to MLB.com's Mark Feinstein. More to come.
Yeah,
Don't publish the
That's how
story.
a little bit.
it's a non-story.
You got to get it out first, guys.
Phil Maton went to the Rangers. That's a blow for the Tigers because I think he was on their radar.
God damn it! Why can't we do it? I'm like,
Red Sox
oh.
acquired just Dustin May, which makes me think they're probably out of. He still starts, doesn't he? Yes. I'm going to assume that is the replacement for a Joe Ryan deal, or Dustin May is about to become a Twin. Who knows?
All right, you got 3 minutes to do anything. I'm really pissed, honestly. This is just kind of pathetic. The Tigers. I don't think that's much of an overreaction, honestly. I would have liked a little bit more.
So on our what the Tigers front office is going to say bingo card, it's going to be the prices were too high. We have enough to win here.
We like our prospects.
Yeah,
We have faith in our guys.
we like our guys. We have I think those are the big three.
We didn't
Any
want to
other cliches?
sacrifice. We didn't want to sacrifice 2026 for 2025. It's
Yeah.
Who's on the IL that they're going to say that's like acquiring an all-star?
yeah.
Jose Urquidy
There he is.
Urquidy. Alex Cobb. Alex Lang.
Cobb.
Still waiting on that.
Yeah, he's still getting pumped with morphine or whatever that is they give him.
Perpetually 2 months away from being 2 months away. Alex Cobb.
Yeah.
I just picture Alex Cobb is on a beach somewhere and the phone rings like, yep, still in rehab. Can't make it this week. Sorry, guys.
White Sox made one other deal. Was it yesterday? Austin Slater was sent to, I think it was the Yankees
yeah.
for Gage Zeal, who is now listed as the White Sox 14th prospect. Right-handed pitcher, big guy, like a big, strong guy, good slider, good control. Was an 11th round pick of the Cubs. So that's something. But I've been kind of shocked at how quiet they've been. I think they could have really helped jumpstart their rebuild because they're starting to look better.
Yeah.
If they would have made some other moves, but obviously Robert's the big one, and that doesn't seem like it's happening. So
Well, it's like
And
they
now
have
I
a
know
lot
they
of
just
names.
traded Hauser.
Talkman, I'm surprised hasn't been moved yet. And then it's really like Michael A. Taylor can still get moved. But yeah, and then it's like you're talking about Benintendi, which that's a wall. I mean, Carlos Correa got traded, but like,
It's a similar contract.
yeah,
Worse because Benintendi's not as productive, but similar.
yeah. At least Correa, you can at least argue yourself into thinking he can be good again, and he plays a premium position. Benintendi is a poor hitting, poor defending left fielder. There's no hope.
Which is
Yeah.
so. Not to go back to Quan for a second, but one of the conversations locally has been about, well, what is he in the future? Like, what's his free agent deal look like? Because there's not a lot of guys in his profile as a short, contact hitting, speedy, good for glove first left fielder. And the one guy that's kind of similar is Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah.
I also wonder, this is kind of, I don't know much about the defensive metrics and stuff, but how does he grade out at a different park that's not, because Progressive has a kind of a shorter left field with a big wall, but I mean, if like at Comerica or Coors or whatever, something has a bigger outfield, do you know how he like grades out for that? I'm not saying he's a gold
but
glover because he plays a Progressive.
You
I don't
can
know
look
how much
that
of a
up
difference
because
that
you just
makes.
look at his away stats.
Yeah.
You can look at his away metrics and find that out. I'm going to assume pretty good. I would argue the wall is more of a challenge than a.
Sorry. John Heyman says the Tigers are working hard for a starting pitcher. You better fucking be right, man.
What's Minnesota's area code? Because
Starting pitcher.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody needs starting pitching all the time, but that's not what I would have thought.
Yeah. All right. All right. It is now 6:01 p.m.
deals are in.
Yep. Now I just gotta.
I
I'm just reading through the mega thread on the Tiger subreddit.
Sure.
What this deadline shows me is Scott Harris feels we aren't as good as our record, and it's not worth parting with assets. I wonder if Scott Harris enjoys a good garage sale or estate sale. I'm sure he's always perusing Facebook Marketplace and eBay for a good deal.
You can find good deals there. How dare they?
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll wait. We're gonna wait 10 minutes. Let's deals.
Come on, Scott. Give me another 30-year-old 4.5 plus ERA pitcher. Yeah, Harris might not believe this team can win the World Series. Literally every other team made some kind of move. That's the thing. These trades are fine, but they're not. It's not as much as what every other team has done. Oh my god, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yes.
I swear to God. No, I am. Scott Harris is never beating the allegations. Apparently, Charlie Morton to the Tigers.
Oh wait. All right. Let's hold on to that because I remember I looked at Morton like. All right.
That's not that bad.
I don't think that's actually. All right. Let's
Don't get me
He's
wrong,
like 40 and he sucks for the half of the year.
Let's look for the best website in the world. Baseball Reference, because I think he has a lot of skewed numbers. 5.42 ERA, that's fine. Let's look.
He got an awful start to the year.
Yes, and I also. All right, I want to look at this. So, FIP 4.4. Okay, that's not good. 73. Home runs have come down. Strikeouts are pretty good.
Look at the splits month by month. Maybe there's something there.
I mean, his FIP isn't good, which was what I was really banking on being better. Let's go to...
Look at the splits for by month.
Okay, one second. I'm just curious. What is his... All right.
None of this is reassuring. I am... Oh my god.
All right, splits.
Oh, Griffin Jack's headed to Tampa, though, by the way.
Oh, he's going to be dirty. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
He's going to be a buzzsaw. And... Holy crap.
Yeah.
I don't just...
Griffin Jacks may not give up another run the rest of the year.
An organization you don't want to give an elite pitcher to is Tampa. Does it make you feel any better that his nickname is Ground Chuck?
No.
So, his splits by month. 90. So he's trending in the right. It's 494, which is good for OPS plus. It's good for a pitcher. He has a really high BABIP, an exceptionally high BABIP.
Ugh.
Oh, never mind. That's June. Sorry about that. I shut up. Okay, he's not been that great in July. Sorry, Lee.
His June was all right. His July is not great.
He's been. I mean, yeah, he actually had good luck in. I don't hate this.
I hate it, and we got another 40-year-old because
Yeah,
all
you know-
Scott Harris wants to trade for is guys past 35 or injured guys or guys with a ERA of 5.
I think I'm with Lee on this one. The Tigers traded for a thing that, quite frankly, I'm not going to say they didn't need because you always need starters, but it wasn't a highest priority thing.
Sure.
And the guy they got is potentially headed to the glue factory. I don't.
To be ground chuck.
Yes. Of all, I don't get it.
Does
I
he
still
think
don't
it's
get it.
2019 or something? What are we doing here? Oh my god, I'm
Instead of
actually
making 6 really underwhelming deals, they needed to make a move. Be willing to trade your prospects, not all of them, but some of them, and improve your team. And I don't see it.
I don't see the vision. How is adding Charlie Morton improving this team at all? Is he
eats
going
innings.
to the bullpen?
He'll probably eat innings until September, and then they'll move him to the bullpen. But I don't know.
I don't know
Like-
if you're in the mental
Are
space.
you? Oh shit!
What?
The Blue Jays acquire Louis Varlin and Ty France.
You scared me,
Dang.
Eric. I thought you were going to say Stephen Kwan.
No. So Louis Varlin, that is actually shocking to me. This is his first year in the bullpen, and he has looked great. He has
Yeah,
3
yeah,
more
you're
years
right,
of
he
team
has.
control.
Ooh, what did they get for that? He is a reliever, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Tigers fans have waited so long to have a baseball team that's in buy mode at on trade deadline day. Today was that day. Kyle Finnegan and Charlie Morton are your prized additions. Extremely disappointing deadline. I'm just reading off just various.
I don't
guys
know
that
if you're
follow.
ready for this mental exercise, Lee, but I'm going to do
Oh,
it anyway. Sorry.
God. All right.
I'm gonna name Detroit Tigers starting pitchers, and you tell me if you'd rather have Charlie Morton pitch instead of the person I say.
The answer is all of them. I would rather have all of them than Charlie Morton pitch.
I'm not even gonna say Tarek Skubal. I know the answer to that. Flaherty's probably no. You'd rather have Flaherty. Casey Mize. Rather have Casey Mize.
I'd
I
rather have
imagine.
Casey
Yeah.
Mize.
Chris Paddock.
I'd rather have Paddock, honestly.
That might
Eric,
be-
what's your opinion on that?
I mean, I'd take Morton, but that's Morton at
The
least to
fourth
me.
one, and that's not Chris Paddock.
Troy
give-
Troy Melton or Charlie Morton?
I really like Troy Melton.
Oh, there you go. That's this. There's 5 pitchers. Where's Morton fit here?
What is the plan? I don't get it.
Keeter Montero in AAA. Him or Charlie Morton?
That's a little bit tougher.
I'd say Keeter Montero myself.
I'd say Keeter Montero.
Maybe I'm being prisoner of the moment, but I liked Keeter last year. I thought he did a good job. I don't know how he's done this year.
He's been kind of up and down. He's had like a bunch of blow up starts, but he's also had a bunch of really good starts. So it's kind of tale of two
Sounds like a
cities.
wash then, honestly.
So can I? Duran traded.
You're
Varlin
still showing Charlie Morton's
You're
page.
still showing Charlie Morton.
I'm just getting more depressed. I have to leave for work in like 20, 30 minutes, and I'm just going to be pissed for the next 6 hours.
All right. So, Twins bullpen. Duran
Gone.
traded. Gone. Cole Sands still there. Griffin Jacks, Danny Colomb, Topa still there. Brock Stewart gone. Let's go up to the start. Paddock gone. So the Twins have a
Who is on this
13-man
roster?
13-man staff, and they've traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six of the. They basically traded an entire bullpen in one afternoon.
For our fantasy baseball players out there, make sure to go out there and get Cole Sands. That guy's getting saves down the stretch.
I was about to say,
I mean, like the
Sands.
5 saves he'll get because the Twins aren't going to win a lot, but still.
Yeah. All right, reading out more comments on the mega thread. I'm not crashing out or anything, but I would like to hear Harris's reasoning for not getting an impact reliever. We've all seen the packages they got, and we could have beaten or matched every single one besides Miller.
Lee, let me give you some solid advice here.
Oh,
Don't
sorry,
be on
one more.
Tigers Reddit. No, like seriously, like stop being on
I'm
Tigers.
going to stop. I just
Close the page. It's not going to do anyone any favors.
Oh, yeah, it gives me zero hope for the Red Wings either with this cheap ass bitch owner. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, here's one more. I didn't want Verlander, but if you were going to go for an old wash starter, you might as well should have gone with him.
That's
That would've been kind of
Zach Meisel reports, he's the Cleveland Guardians writer for The Athletic. The Guardians are not trading Stephen Kwan.
There you go.
Official.
There you go.
Okay, now Lee.
Didn't know what my reaction would be until I saw it. It was a happy one. I'd rather have the guy.
I've closed the Reddit
Good
tabs
now,
I had on up on my laptop.
Don't look at it today.
Don't go on it for like a week. It's only going to be.
Yeah.
You're only if you log onto the Reddit, you are doing it knowing you're going to make yourself angry.
Why
would you want to make yourself angry?
Yeah, I hope I'm busy at work today, so I don't have to.
It's the Reddit. It's like the Facebook.
This is true.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just hope I'm busy at work, so I don't have time to sit in the back and just look on my phone because so
here's another. This is where you need like a second. Like, also the Tigers are going to play tomorrow, and like 2 months from now, if they go on a deep playoff run, this is all going to be forgotten.
Yeah, but if we go and get swept in the the ALDS,
yeah, but that could happen. That could happen if you just won the trade deadline too.
Yeah. No, we're gonna play the Phillies, who have half of the Twins roster now.
If you play the Phillies, that's a real good outcome.
No, I mean this weekend we're playing the Phillies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Two things. First thing is, for all the negative, I don't like what Detroit's done this trade deadline. I admit that. That doesn't change the fact that they've been the best team in the AL all season.
Yeah.
But yes, it would have been really good to improve upon what you have, and the distance between you and everybody else probably shrunk here. You guys aren't suddenly a pretender just because you didn't add anything.
Right.
It is going to be a tougher road from here, but it's not like you guys are just. You're not going to be
You're still the
basement team the rest of the way.
Yeah. This isn't going to make you feel. You're still the same team. Like it.
You're still the team that was
improvement.
60 wins.
Right.
Yeah.
You're still the team that was still the first to 60 wins while having a 10, losing 11 out of 12 or whatever it was. Like, it's not me. Like, the overreaction is easy to do. Don't. Like, yes, it could have been better.
So I mean this in a funny way. Whose deadline would you rather have, the Twins or the Tigers?
I'd still rather have the Tigers because I'd hate watching everyone go.
That's such a loaded question.
I know, isn't it?
As far as whose deadline would I'd rather have the Twins because they clearly had a plan and they executed upon it. And they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. Understatement of the century, right?
Yeah.
But I'd rather be a Tigers fan, obviously, because we're competing for. Let me ask this, just to make it a little bit more morbid. Not to make it about me, but would you rather be in the Guardians position or the Twins position or the Tigers position? I think we'd all want to be in the Tigers. So let me
between the Twins and the Guardians, though.
The Twins and the Guardians. Yeah.
I think I'd rather go with the Twins. At least they have a clear direction. They know what they're doing. I mean, Guardians, they still have a couple pieces. It really
depends. It depends. Sorry, I interrupted you. That was rude. Go ahead.
No, I guess it really. I mean, the Guardians still have a couple pieces, but they didn't make any huge, big risks, right?
And honestly, I'm coming to that realization in this moment right now. I've talked about being decisive for the last hour. The Guardians, I have no idea which direction they're going right now.
Yeah.
Are they going to go this off? Yeah, we'll see this offseason what they do. I can't hear anything.
Is probably not going to be on the team moving forward. We're 2.5 games out of the wild card, so we're kind of in it. We traded the pitcher that we thought was going to help us get over the hump down the stretch, but we didn't make any other moves to kind of sell off and try to kind of regroup. It's just hitting me now. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
So they made their. I think the Guardians have made clear what their plan is for 2025. They have not made clear what their plan is for 2026. I think, is that a fair assessment?
I don't know. I feel like if we were giving up on 2025, we would have traded Quan.
Dan, are you
I
about to
think
spiral?
quite frankly, I think you can't plan for your all-star closer who had a '06
No.
ERA last year to suddenly disappear off the face of the earth.
No, you
Like
can't plan for that.
Do you think there
I
is a
don't
bit
know
of
that I
shell
can
shock
blame
then?
them. What's that?
Do you think there is a bit of shell shock then? Like they were like this came so close, they were like, I don't know what to do here. Like, what is the correct
I
answer?
don't know if I'd go that far.
I don't know. Like I'm not saying
I don't
that's
know if
what
I
they
use.
did, or
I wouldn't use the word shell shock. I would say that like, how could you plan for this? Like
right.
to a point. Like I've talked about this in my old job all the time, where like we've never been in this position before. This has never occurred before. We've never had a player of Class A's caliber be investigated for gambling. Like this is new territory for everyone, including the organization.
Except for the Reds.
So, well, even that, he was a manager at that point.
He was a
You know,
player
like
manager? He wasn't at the caliber.
yeah,
Yes, I get what you're saying. Yep.
like this is the Guardians are breaking new ground. To be sarcastic about it, but I don't blame them for necessarily getting caught with their pants down here. But
Yeah, I mean, it's
just
not like he
seems
had
like
much
that could happen.
notice. Like most teams have were able to like have had a few days before this trade deadline to like make a few calls, kind of know what they're doing, have a game plan. The Guardians got caught off guard, like what 3 days before the trade deadline, with one of the potential biggest assets we could have traded is off the board, and just poof. And so you have to make a decision really quick and start, if you're going to sell, now you have to pick which players. You have to start reaching out to other teams to try and sell those guys if you weren't going to sell them originally. Now that Class A is
And
basically
something I've
nothing.
said before is we got to remember that these guys are human beings.
Yeah.
And I do kind of wonder with all the turmoil that's probably going on in that clubhouse. Now, if you traded off Quan, like, what does that do for the organization? What does that do for that clubhouse? And maybe that's not the thing that you want to lead with to make a decision, but I do think it matters. I mean, the Guardians have been about team chemistry. I mean, Austin Hedges is on the roster basically because of chemistry. So I don't know. It feels like they just decided, well, let's play out this year and then we'll make some decisions in the off season. And so, there is a world out there where this happens where we make the playoffs and everybody goes, man, that team fought through all that adversity and look at how they made it into the play. Like, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's not completely unrealistic either. So,
Sorry to interrupt this, but I think the Royals
go
bought
ahead.
more than the fucking Tigers did. Mike
Sure.
Yastrzemski goes to the Royals
Well,
from Heyman. Yep, and Passon now too. Sorry, I think I'm more upset with the Tigers deadline now that we added Charlie Morton than I would have if we hadn't done that.
the Twins. Sorry, I know we're jumping all over the place. It's hard for people to follow. The Twins traded Griffin Jacks for Taj Bradley.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Underperforming starter from the Rays, and you think. Now, there might be another player attached to that. It doesn't say that's all they got back. But that's.
I think it's weird because where's that fitting in the vision? Do they just need him for innings?
They have a lot of. I mean, they do, and they have a couple guys on the injured list because they always do. But like, they've really reloaded the pitching staff, and like, I don't know if they did. If they needed that, the pitching staff, I didn't feel like was the area they needed to reload. It was underperforming because a lot of guys got injured, but like the offense has been the issue. Why didn't you reload that? You just like doubled up on pitching, which I get. Don't get me wrong. There's no such thing as too much pitching, but like it's interesting. And I'm just looking at trade rumors. They probably gained. I'm not kidding you. What 10 prospects in the last 10 days? In the last 2 days? It's gonna
Yeah,
be a
we
while
still
to
don't
like
know.
look at
Exactly.
that and be like, okay, this is where it makes sense. But it's interesting.
Yeah. All right. I saw. So apparently the Twins are paying 33 million of Correa's remaining contract.
Oh, they got nothing back then. So
Oh.
they're paying $79 million left, the Astros are, which is just over 25 mil a year. Which I don't think is outrageous for if you think Correa can be a decent starting shortstop. I just don't know what you get back, if anything.
I think I'm sorry to keep jumping around, but I think the Royals deadline is really interesting.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
like the
it is.
most, like, not that they did anything big and explosive, but they basically all their deficiencies, all the things where they're negative. I feel like they tried to just get back to zero. Adding Yastrzemski, he's a league average hitter, but that probably means somebody like MJ Melendez doesn't have to play every day anymore, which ask Sam to talk about MJ Melendez for 30 seconds and you'll find out why that's a big deal. Adding him, adding a couple starters who they can just plug in while these guys are hurt. And, hopefully you'll get league average production. It just feels like they wanted to take their deficiencies and at least turn them into average. And so, I don't know. It's just really interesting to me that they're making the moves they are with the positioning they find themselves in 3 games out of the wild card. They're trying. They're going to try to compete and make the playoffs this year. It seems like to me.
Yeah. Which they're the only team that bought in players.
But the method they're doing it is just interesting because it's not like they went out and got Ben Miller.
Sorry, this is from a Tigers fan I follow on Twitter. I just got a call from the Minnesota Twins that I'm starting at first base tomorrow night.
It'd still be better than France.
God, I have to imagine the Tigers are planning to move Morton to the bullpen, right? They're not gonna start him over Melton.
Not until September.
I keep going back. I don't understand this move. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, if we're gonna sign a washed old pitcher, why not just get Verlander? Sorry, I'm just really upset about this.
That's fine. All right, where? So the Twins got back 2 prospects I've never heard of, so I'm looking at them, so don't mind me. Sam Armstrong and Ryan Gallagher.
By the way, the only reason I'm on Twitter is because I'm just trying to get more news on stuff. I'm going to fucking probably delete the damn app.
Might not be bad.
Oh, hey!
Hey, here's someone doing.
How's the biggest buyer in the division doing?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Your camera's off.
Yes, I'm out right now on a live scene, so I'm just
That's amazing.
Out here hanging out. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm having a great time.
Is this our first call-in? Like, first time caller, long time listener? Is that what this is?
I listen to the show religiously. First time.
All right. Do you have an idea what the Royals have done, or do you want us to list off?
So I have.
Oh, but now it's real quiet. Sorry.
Let's see if we can up his value. Yeah. All right.
He'll come back. That's fine. I like how he said it was a scene. He didn't say it wasn't a murder scene. So, like, is that how we get banned from YouTube? All right.
Yes.
What's that? We're getting an email from YouTube right now. So, all right, Ryan Gal. I don't know who you are, kid.
I'm trying to figure out who's going to play for the Twins tomorrow.
Yeah, they lost 10 rostered players out of 26.
When the Guardians suit up to play the Twins tomorrow, who's going to show up the field?
I just want, Dan, isn't it you that remembered or that said that the Twins were going to beat the Guardians?
Yep.
I don't think that's
I'm sticking with it. In these times, players sometimes get inspired and play above their head.
What's up,
Hello.
Sam?
Hey, how you guys doing?
I'm doing well. Do you know what the Royals have done, or do you want us to read off of baseball trade rumors?
I think I got it pretty good. So the first move that they made was that they traded away Freddie Fermin in exchange for 2 pitchers from the Padres. I think that is, in my opinion, a pretty decent move. Obviously, it hurts a little bit because Freddie was a fan favorite and someone who a lot of people liked, but he is 30 years old and he's a backup catcher. So they got 2 Major League ready starters in exchange for Freddie. So I think that's a pretty good move. And also the Padres apparently have the worst catcher, OPS, WAR, everything
Yep.
in MLB this season. So I think it's a pretty good move on the part of the Royals to move off of him. I think this does indicate to me that there is a 100% chance that Salvi's option is going to get picked up for next season.
Sure.
And also, look, the Royals' top 2 prospects are catchers. And one of them is from the Kansas City area. So I think it's pretty likely that one of those 2 guys is going to get called up. So
Yeah.
that was the first move they made, which I think is a pretty good move. That's a sell in a way. That's a sell. And then they picked up a reliever from the Pirates for
Yep.
Evan Sisk, I believe,
Yep. And Bailey Falter.
and someone else.
Yep.
Yeah, someone who I've never heard of before. Again, Major League ready reliever. Not much to say. Kind of, you can never have enough pitchers.
Right.
And then it looks like there was a move that just came through.
Yep.
Where they acquired Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah, what's he doing? He's having a pretty nice year. Well, I say pretty nice. He's put up 2 WAR, and I'm assuming a lot of underlying metrics look well. 685 OPS. And exactly a league average OPS plus. 8 home runs, some doubles.
I would direct you toward the OPS plus and the WAR of Mr. MJ Melendez and
is true.
Jack Caglione.
What did I just say?
So I think a couple pretty good moves, a good combination of sort of both buying and selling by the Royals, and it looks like they are trying to position themselves for next season. I think almost all of the players they've gotten have at least team control for next year.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about what the Royals did, and hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully, hoping against all hope it'll work out for them to go on a run this year. But if it doesn't, they've set themselves up for at least next season.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think, how much does this improve them? Or is it just, this is a more future play? I think he's about to drop, so.
Right.
Yep.
I have to go in the next 10 minutes here, so
Let's get your final thoughts.
I'm just pissed. I mean, they should have bought more. I don't know. The deals he did on their own are fine, but you look at what everyone else in the league has done, you look at what they didn't do, and it leaves you asking, what is this front office's plan? What are they hoping to get out of 41-year-old Charlie Morton? I don't get it. I don't see the vision, I guess. And maybe these trades will work out and, will magically turn Montero into a 2 ERA pitcher again. And maybe Charlie Morton will have a third wind. I don't know. But I feel like they could have done a lot more. And they didn't capitalize on any of their opportunities.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of really annoyed with Scott Harris at the moment because, I don't get it. They did moves. They're not particularly strong, or anything groundbreaking.
How much do you think this is colored by they've had a not so great 3 weeks? If they would have just been like, if they would have had a pretty good couple weeks, do you think you would be this upset over it? No, I don't want to say this upset, but like this frustrated over it.
Honestly, if they hadn't had that really bad stretch, I would still be upset about this. Maybe not as much, right? Because because the past 4 games, I mean, they've gone on a 4-game win streak. In the past 4 games, they've played a lot better. So it does look like that stretch was just they were just playing really badly. Mm-hmm. It just really highlighted the bullpen needs that we have and the potential need on offense. And Reese Olson is out for the season, and so it just really highlighted all the needs that we have. And so I feel like we have not filled those needs all the way. But maybe if we hadn't had that really bad stretch, I would be less upset. But I think I still would be upset because I still feel like, a month ago we were like, we need bullpen help. That was clear a long time ago at this point.
Sure.
So, and I feel like the bullpen help we got is not the caliber that we needed. Like I've been saying for weeks, we need a guy who can come in and get 3 straight strikeouts. I do not think we got that guy.
Nope. So then now you're looking at the minor leagues. Who's in AA and AAA that can now switch to the bullpen for the next 2 months and throw 98?
Troy Melton.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's one.
So
we'll work this backwards. Who are your 3.5 starters for a playoff series? A 7-game playoff series.
For a 7-game playoff series, I think it's going to look Tarek Skubal, Casey Mize, Flaherty. I think. So
and then with that thought, how many of them do you think would be active favorites for those games? Skubal, yes.
Mine's probably. He's had a bumpy couple of starts lately. He's looked rough, but I mean, he looked really good for a long time. It's just kind of bumpy lately, and I think as a lot of it is just wear and tear because he hasn't pitched that long. He hasn't pitched this many innings in a long time because he's been injured so much. Flaherty, it depends on what version of him we get.
Right, but that's not the question. Is he going to be viewed as an underdog as a game 3 starter?
As a game 3 starter, I think I would not necessarily feel good about that. That's what I would. That's going to be my guess.
Okay, so your bullpen, who closing?
Will Vest. He's the closer.
2 setup guys.
I'd say Holton and let's go with Herder because he's been pretty good.
How are you feeling about 9th, 8th, and 7th then?
I think Kyle that we just got, he'd be all right. Let me think. Troy Melton if he turns to the bullpen. Chase Lee. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let me pull up the roster because we've had like some injuries. A bunch of people go up and down. Kane Lee in there too, for like an inning, 2 outs. Yeah. Let me pull up. So I'd say closer. I'd say Will Vest, and then 2 next. I think I'd go Holton and Herder for the next 2.
Okay.
So they're both lefties. If I had to pick a righty to go with them, I guess I'd go with Hannafy. No, maybe Lee instead.
Okay.
And then after that, Troy Melton, Kyle. I keep forgetting his last name. It's Kyle whatever. Not Freeland. But you know what I mean. You know who I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, him, and then what do I want? Yeah, so I said Chase Lee, so Kyle, and Troy Melton. Yeah, so Chase Lee, Kyle, Troy Melton. So then I got the next 3 guys. And then, where does Paddock go in the bullpen, I guess, too?
Yeah, you can put Paddock. You can turn your 5th starter. So, all right, well, there's...
Yeah. It's not bad. I just feel like it could be better.
Of course, but that's not the reality anymore.
Right, yeah.
You can't worry about what could it be.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have been like really up and down. Like Holton's had some really bad stretches. Herder's had some bad stretches, but he's been pretty good. Hannafy is heart attack inducing sometimes. Kane Lee had a rough month. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, yeah. Again, I don't know where Charlie Morton fits in all this. I don't know where he goes, and like Alex Lang if he comes back, or Katie if he comes back as well. So,
I
yeah.
don't know. So, not to cut you off, the Twins have gotten back a prospect for Carlos Correa. Is everyone ready to be shocked? Let's this is sight unseen. This is going to be good, right? Oh, Matt Mikulski is how I'm pronouncing that. 26-year-old lefty. Drafted in 2021. Was in rookie ball this year. Oh no. Has not achieved past high A. I don't think we need
career
to
6.46 ERA in the minors.
Oh my god.
Oh, we made another trade for a minor league pitcher for Matt Manning.
Okay.
Yeah, there's. Oh, and I don't like the guy we gave up for Morton, by the way. I think like we gave up too much, but whatever. Well, he's a double A reliever who's looked really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really have to. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
So after all those sagas of signing Carlos Correa and not signing Carlos Correa and signing Carlos Correa, how does it make you feel that you got a 26-year-old who's never made it past rookie ball in exchange for all that?
I mean, that's going to be a joke in Minnesota for the next, 50 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Twins clearly just did the blackjack clap and be like, okay, we're done with it. But, that had to have been come on, Houston. Literally anyone. We got to tell the fan base we got a player back.
All right. I really have to leave because I have to go to work. And I should have left 5 minutes ago. But yeah, there's been a couple more things for the Tigers. We know who we traded for. Just look at those. Tell me how bad I should feel about this.
Oh, you'll feel great because your team's still in first place.
That's something, and the division's gonna be wide open for the next 3 years because the Twins have blown it. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna head out. This has been I'm not gonna say it was fun because I kind of hate Scott Harris right now, but it was nice talking to you. How about I'll go with that.
You know what? The feeling is mutual.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.
This is a millennial. Lee, you can leave, but this is a millennial cliche. But it's been real. It's been fun. It hasn't been real. Fun.
And I'm gonna probably have to bounce in a second here, but I just wrap up my feelings with. I feel okay what the Royals did.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's gonna buns, heads off. It really raising the floor, shoring up the roster, doing a lot of things to kind of, fill some of the holes that they have. And if they go on a run this season, and make the playoffs, it won't necessarily be because of the moves that they've made, but the moves that they have made will definitely, if they hadn't made these moves, they probably, will have finished worse than whatever they end up at. So I feel pretty good, a good combination of buying and selling and setting things up for 2026 and 2027.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But all right, well, first time caller Sam, appreciate you dialing in. Yep.
Keep up the good work, guys. Love listening to the show.
Those rock tickets are in the mail. Whatever they give away for TV shows. But all right, we'll talk to you later, Sam. Oh, I don't even know. I'm assuming we'll wrap
I was
up
thinking this. Yeah, agreed. I have some final thoughts, and then maybe you can speak and we can call it there. But before I get to that, this is also kind of morbid, but I was thinking about what Sam was saying about Correa and all the effort to sign him, and then it all amounts to getting a minor league filler left-handed pitcher. And
Yep.
honestly, Eric, that makes me feel like losing Clase for nothing is not as it's basically the same thing. It's basically the same thing, except you lost. This is really crappy. You lost a shortstop that was in the middle of your order, and I lost a guy that pitches the ninth inning when the team's winning. And so it could be worse, I guess. I don't know.
I don't even. So my first reaction to a lot of the trades today, it was like, ooh, I don't know if I like that. So I have a feeling I'm not going to like this deadline a lot. The Twins, like, I feel like if these moves are right, this all goes away. But for a front office who you could argue is already on the hot seat, they took a lot of swings today that they might not see the consequences or bear the fruit of. So, like, what's weird, the Griffin Jacks for Taj Bradley is very weird to me. I know he was a hyped prospect for a long time, but the Rays are trading him to you, which should always ring off a bell. And he hasn't been that impressive in the majors, but that's me looking at his baseball reference page, and that's about it.
And it just doesn't fit the narrative of what the Twins were doing in general to me. No. Like, it doesn't make sense. Other than maybe, like I was joking about a minute ago, who's going to play for the Twins tomorrow? Like, maybe they needed to get a starting pitcher. I don't know.
I mean, and they did load up on young starting pitch because, like, for Toronto, the Louis Varland one is, I mean, they're really banking they can rebuild the bullpen. That they have the arms pretty like now to rebuild at least a functional bullpen, because they were really high on him, obviously, and it looks like they got a pretty good AAA left-handed throwing starting pitcher, so that's fine. And then they got a corner outfielder that can play in the majors now, which is fine. But it seems like they did this weird, we're selling, but we're only half selling because we're going to get some major league players, some near major league, and then a couple of like wild cards for like single AA. But I don't know. They sold.
Honestly, that lends itself to the premise then that I know that you're well aware of was this a sell-off in order to rebuild, or was this a sell-off in order to clear the books because we got to get the books cleared? Was it financial, I guess is the question. Was Varland, is he ARB next year?
I don't even think so.
Okay.
If he is, it would be his first year.
A little bit of, okay. It's just interesting. I still think that
it's his first year as a reliever. Like, I don't. It's interesting. Now, like, they're relievers. That's who you want to burn, and they took that attitude this trade season. I don't know. Like, who's playing for the Twins tomorrow? I mean, I can't even imagine the logistics. I mean, thank God St. Paul is only like 5 minutes away from Target Field because, like, the logistics of, okay, now it's almost like an OOTP when you first take over a franchise and you sell off everything, and then you're like, ask AI to organize organization.
Yeah.
That's almost like that's the button they're about to click, and they're like, oh crap, that's us actually.
The Twins organization's getting on ChatGPT right now to figure out who's going to play first base tomorrow.
Has Derek Foley
Rocco's got it dialed up on his laptop.
Yeah, we'll see if it's the right. I mean, how many players did they acquire today? 10. Their farm system's completely revamped. Yeah. Do I think it's probably the best in baseball now? Probably not, which is probably saying something. So, like,
yeah, for everything you dealt off, you would like to be at least in consideration for that, right?
Well, number one, with a bullet, if you're going to sell off your entire bullpen, and then also all your impending free agents, and then also, like, Joe Ryan, what was funny is the Twins actually said no to the Red Sox. They were not even close. And then to trade your shortstop, I know, like, Correa hasn't looked impressive. And the idea of him being good the next 3 years, I think, are pretty low. But it's not like they have anybody readily available that could fill his potential. Brooks Lee will play shortstop for for probably the next year or so. He's looked off and on, but he doesn't have the ceiling Carlos Correa. They have Kalen Culpepper in Double A right now. Is he going to be good? I mean, you're looking into the future again, which I guess is fine. You have to now. That's fine. But it's a real aggressive sell. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. This is. I mean, they always say this is going to be a year Twins fans will look back on and be like, remember when they sold everything and it turned out awesome? Or remember when they sold everything and then like the team got contracted and the owner moved the team? And like, I feel like this is as important of a year as they've had in a while.
This year was a crossroads.
Yes.
And they made a decision and they executed on that decision, to say the least. And I still think there's value in that. I still think there's positive in that as a fan. You could be in the opposite. You could be not knowing what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I can speak to that. So
we'll see. They didn't just walk down a crossroads. They sprinted down that effort.
No, you're absolutely right.
We'll see. But I think, I don't know. I don't have too much else to say. I'm going to go look to see who they got, and I don't know. This might be an exceptionally long show. The next one we do, maybe we'll see. I mean, the Twins might need to have its own separate breakdown, but we'll see.
Maybe.
But final thoughts before we hit end.
I apologize because I may have several, and I might ramble for a minute. Detroit, really don't like what they did. I wasn't trying to egg Leon. I really don't like what they did there. Yeah. I don't see the vision either. And I think instead of making 6 small moves, they should have made 1 large one. Be willing to part with somebody to improve either your bullpen or third base.
I think the trap they ran into was, well, everyone's selling, so we don't need to do anything.
I sure hope not. But possibly.
And the reality is, they shouldn't care what the Central is doing. They're going
that's
after
exactly
bigger
right.
prizes.
If you're in the position Detroit's in, you're not competing with the Guardians and the Royals and the Twins. You're competing with the Yankees and the Rangers and the Astros.
Yep.
And you didn't outmaneuver them today by any means. Interestingly, I know I've said it a couple times, but I really am intrigued by what the Royals did. I'm curious to see how that plays out. The Twins, I think you guys were
interesting.
Go ahead.
Because I think it's not to cut you off, but I guess I'm cutting you off. But the wattage between what the Tigers did and the Royals did, I don't think are that different. But it's completely different tones.
I think the Royals got more competent players than the Tigers did. I really do. They got a league average hitter in Yastrzemski, who's a very good glove.
Yep.
They got some young pitchers that can go into the rotation today. Bailey Falter has a 3.40 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be good for them potentially immediately. That's more than Detroit got, in my opinion. Anyway, and then the Twins. I give the organization credit for picking a lane and sticking to it, as we've talked about a number of times. The White Sox, underwhelming. Not sure what they were going to do or not do, and they did a couple things. I think what they got for Hauser might be interesting.
Yep.
But was just expecting more.
Yeah, I don't think Michael A. Taylor was traded. And that should have been a no-brainer.
No.
Just outfield depth. He can be a 4th or 5th outfielder, or just a pinch runner in a playoff. That's his role.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Michael Taylor could come out and play outfield in the 8th and 9th as a defensive replacement for a team that's winning by 2, and then that leaves the Guardians, which the more as I gain a little bit of perspective, I just feel like they were blindsided by the Clase A news and didn't know it was going to be hard enough to make a decision based upon where they were 2.5 games out, given the payroll they have. Without not a lot of great trade chips in the first place. Kwan's a little bit early to trade. Clase was the one guy, and now you can't trade him. So they tried to sell off Seawald. They got money, I think, for him. And then they traded Shane Bieber, which again, I think that's just you didn't know what you had anyway. So feel free to do that.
Right.
But it just feels awkward. It just feels, I don't, awkward's the right word. It's not underwhelming. It's awkward. And so I think we're going to play out 2025, try to make the playoffs. And I don't know what's next. I don't know what 2026 looks like anymore. And I thought I had an idea coming into this. And now I don't, because you could have traded those two guys in the winter or kept them and been more competitive. And that's just not an option anymore.
Yep.
So
we'll see. But it happened. This is straight.
Very strange.
But all right. Well, I think with that, we're going to probably record here in the next couple of days, so we'll have more clear thoughts. But this was kind of fun just to live react to the deadline or non-react to drip moves.